KB anyway, so I think it's a pretty good pick considering what's happening here. Does have to deal with Shadow Shaman though. That is going to be a bit of an issue.
Prepare
that hero is going to be
battle.
hexing and shackling TA as much as possible. And if Lil plays very similar to how he did earlier, we're going to see some ward traps, and that may force Templar Assassin to go phase boots.
All right, here we go, folks. Another best of 2 for you. One of these teams walks out with a 2-0 win. They will secure 3 points. If it's a 1-1 split, each team will grab 1 point on their way out. The third showing here for a lot of these teams, Evil Geniuses, VIRTUS.PRO. It's going to be their second series here for TI5. And they're already heading towards the top-hand side here where Lil is awaiting Universe to do that traditional ops placement. Not going to get the luxury this time. The second he gets a quick peep, he decides to step back into the lane instead. So he'll have to decide to step back and wait out, and we'll have to see where things go from here. Really a lot at stake. And just based on the item matchups, it does look like G is going to be possibly not in the mid lane. It looks like he's going to go to the top, and Illidan's going to take over the mid lane. He's got a null and a couple of shared tangos.
Yeah, it does look like that. I guess he could get an early level Curse of the Silent, and after they use Refraction, you curse him. He can't cast any spell until he gets Meld, and then he'll get burned 5 times, I believe. 6 seconds of mana loss there. Yeah, he does grab Curse of the Silent here. So he's waiting for the Refraction. It'll burn off. Oh, he's going to grab AUI. This looks really bad for him. Despite that, Poor Shield is taking a lot of damage. He gets Blood Flow, but they turn it. FNG getting kind of low due to the heal. AUI should be able to stay alive, I believe. Yeah, and they get First Blood on FNG instead.
What a catch. That works out beautifully. Universe being able to show up, intercepts with a beautiful cog drop, and it isolates enough that they can get their own kill. It's going to be Evil Geniuses who scathed out of that one, and it turns over into a profit for them. They get their first blood, and they immediately disperse them after. Already mid lane, you can see Illidan popping out that curse right after the Refraction use, and he's going to just try to see if he can poke down some CS and give Sumail a difficult time here as this TA matchup silencer. Not one we're used to seeing either, and I don't know if how much experience Sumail has going against it.
It looks like a really annoying lane for Templar Assassin here, because he basically isn't going to have a whole lot of mana here. Illidan isn't going to cast Curse until he casts Refraction, so maybe the solution is you just hold on to Refraction until he casts it on you. But he's taking so much right-click damage now from Illidan, and the worst part is that he has Glaives, which if you cast it, does pure damage, and it does an aggro creep, so he can basically just pressure Sumail. He might even kill him here. Oh, he's going to be okay, but that was so low, and look at the danger. And Illidan's just going to completely dominate this lane.
Beautiful setup for VIRTUS.PRO. He's looking to take over, and Sumail's going to have to reach out for some help. We looked at PPD. He's going to have to get a TP scroll in the near future just in case something does end up going down. He might have to be there as a paramedic with that shallow grave. Top lane, what is this? They are diving past this tier 1 Purge, and they're just saying, Universe, get the hell back. They're happy to just kind of keep him isolated. And Aoi also turning the corner, Riptide. And look at this, Lil now looking to go in the retreat.
Oh, he's in trouble. He's got boots, though.
He's able to make it away. This battery assault, though, is definitely catching him. And no, they don't get him into the cogs. Yeah, he's bumped back and away. Now FNG is just trying to clobber him as much as possible. G even looking to get involved. VIRTUS.PRO, man, just as tenacious as ever.
They don't respect towers.
No, they do not.
Like, that's fine, I'll hang out over here. And it's not that dangerous because their disables are a bit weak on EG in the early game. You know, it's a Dazzle, it's a Naga Siren. They've got the damage, they've got the tankiness, but only does so much there. So a salve brought to Sumail. Sumail might die mid. He's got a 1 Refraction left. He'll pop in now, and that will give him a couple sources. He's going to be okay here, but what a tough lane. He already brought himself a salve. Now he does have his bottle finished, so he's got a light at the end of the tunnel, but what a scary 1v1 here.
He is still managing to find the better of the CS. He's sacrificing his own body, eating that punishment just to make sure he gets the farm. 12 and 4 CS. Illidan, who's able to get the better on trades, is still trailing behind just by a little bit, 10, but he has more denies at 8, so it kind of balances itself out a bit. Sumail, though, it's very apparent he's going to need some extra bits of assistance. The bottle certainly helps, but the second he gets it, he needs to send it right back to the fountain, because that's pretty much all he needed just to kind of stay back and healthy. He's going to build up some stacks for himself, it looks like, while Illidan continues to just work in this mid lane. FNG kind of hanging out nearby. Don't know if it's overly necessary at this point, but just kind of being as a nearby babysitter.
He's going to want level 2, I think, because at level 1, Treant Protector is a bit of a weak hero. If you go for Leech Seed, you got the Leech Seed for the level 1 fight. And I just realized Sumail got that first blood on the Treant. If he didn't do that, I guarantee he would have lost this lane.
Oh, yeah.
Because he just got his bottle, and I was a little surprised about that because his CS was pretty low, but it was because he got that 400 gold boost. That's really, really important for him. If he didn't have that, man, I could totally see Illidan just running away with this mid lane.
pressuring Lilla back to keep him at bay. G decides he wants to charge on forward here. Gonna get some minor chunk damage here, but can't go too far. Universe is nearby, of course, and can always pop out some cogs. Haven't checked much on the bottom lane here. Phobos dodges a Shadow Strike to roll on forward to Fear and kind of bullies him back a bit. So DK Phobos now at level 4, 7-1 CS. Compare that over to Universe, who is splitting the lane XP, so obviously he's not going to be as quick. He's at level 3 and has 0 CS yet. So it's going very nicely for VIRTUS.PRO in both the mid and the top.
Tran taking a bit of damage here as he does go for the Rune Steal and he snags it. They're still kind of chasing him, but I don't see this kill happening. Universe won't be able to catch up. It was only going to work if he turned to fight, maybe, but he wasn't going to do that, so no threat there. Illidan up to level 5 now, and Sumail at 4. Bottom coin for the rest of his life, basically.
Hope no one in the other lanes really needed items from the fountain to be delivered, because Sumail is really going to be occupying the use of this bottle. Allie's nearby just in case. Allie with the 4-man shield buildup on this Naga, anticipating that when she's assisting these lanes is going to be taking some shots, so is already prepared for it. But you know, because of the pressure that's been built on from Sumail and he needs the help nearby, it kind of relieves the pressure for VIRTUS.PRO everywhere else. G at 31 and 20 CS, the highest in the game. He's getting closely farmed. Could even see him go right for the Midas.
The other thing that really helped him is that Sumail's been at like 10% HP almost the entire game due to all the harass, so yeah, there's always damage on top of him compared to most TAs where they usually have pretty high HP, but he's just been really survival, or he's been very low, so really big damage on G, and he's been able to do whatever he wants in the safe lane.
And for Fear, 32 and 10, still doing very nice. Has a mango even on this Queen of Pain here.
Kind of an interesting early pick, but he probably did it because he was going safe lane. He obviously makes a Ring of Basilius. Most mid heroes that go safe lane go for the base heat, but the mango guarantees that even if he didn't have a bottle, it gave him a bit more mana to potentially get a scream that gets a kill or something like that. And it's a bit more HP regen in the safe lane as well, so it's a very rarely purchased item, but occasionally it's worth it.
Curse on mid. Oh, he's trying to get the leech seed, but it's not going to be able to connect. Sumail steps back, has no mana for refraction, and he'll have to wait. Probably the bottle return. Otherwise, he risks being in a very unsafe position. Illidan just gets his bottle, so he's going to quickly bottle up, and he might just go right for Sumail thereafter. We'll have to see, but of course, this is all fueling the damage here for G, and as you can see, he's cutting the wave, using that extra bit of damage boost, and just farming up even further.
PPD's playing really greedy this game, actually. He's not sacrificing his hero to zone out the Tusk. Instead, he's just been pulling, and he's level 4 here at the 6-minute mark. So it's an interesting choice. Most people say zone the offlaner hero, but maybe he's like, you know what, I could just die to a Tusk. If he ice shards me in the right way and I get a creep wave caught, I'm just going to die. But instead, he plays really aggressive. And the cool part is that Dazzle can really power farm with this because of healing creep. So he's able to clear 3 jungle camps here by moving through rather than just doing 2 camps. Yep. So he's getting a lot out of this. He's going to hit level 6 like almost the same as a typical mid-hero hits. So that's pretty incredible. He's only about 2 levels behind his mid-hero. And as a hard support, that's great.
He's been reserving his points just in case something's to break out, whether he needs a quick shallow grave or a quick poison to go more on the assault. He's decided to hold them for now. Doesn't have a TP though. You know, maybe it'd be nice to have it. He has it now. There it is. Now just in case something does break out, he can quickly show up and he'll have the grave ready to go. So it puts him in a good spot and he can go right back to his jungle work here and profit that much more from it. But Phobos, that means that he's not going to get zoned back and he will be uncontested pretty frequently on being able to step forward and find his own bits of XP and scraps of farm. G on the move now. It looks like ever since he got his level 6 in Rupture, adventured away from this top lane, hoping to check out Fear in the bottom, but they're actually going mid lane. They're going for Illidan. He gets the help from the living armor. Sonic Wave not going to do a whole lot. Snowball forward onto Fear. They're going to get the kill. Now they look to Sumail, who is going to get taken apart. 3 down all day. PPD as well even going down, getting involved in that. VIRTUS.PRO, clean house.
That was just a little bit of an overdive and a lot of damage protection coming from the Treon, actually. Living armor, I mean, it takes the source of the damage off the top, and that was a scream that was level 4, reduced it to 260, and then the Sonic Wave as well, doing 290 pure damage, in which case damage block is amazing. That only did 250 damage. That was then reduced. I mean, Illidan barely took anything from that. And he's actually got a pretty good strength gain at 2.2 on Silencer. So he just ate all that damage. They overdived a little bit and a very, very easy kill there due to the Bloodseeker being in the area and the great support rotations.
Holding strong, FNG putting in the overtime to make sure that when EG overcommit, it will be quickly handled. Illidan with a bottled haste group now. Just continues to farm up. Didn't even need to use his ultimate in that previous skirmish. Keeping Owie himself at bay, but look at this big stack here, but Illidan, he's onto it. He does get scouted out from the illusion. It looks like they ping it out for now. We'll see if VIRTUS.PRO are quick on the scene. Look at FNG hiding under the shadow here. Open the spot at Sumail, leads in with a leech seed block, and he's getting body blocked, so that's being spotted. Oh, he pops out the global and a new curse. This could be the end of Sumail here. One more right click, he got it. He will go down. Now FNG in a bit of trouble. Universe catches him with the cogs, and they'll get him with the help of the battery assault. Now Illidan, look at this, he's going. He's got a three just to get PPD, and he's got that Acer, like you said, to walk out scot-free, but he is happy to stay and be as quality as ever. Trying to make it go into Owie. Will that finish him off? It might. It will pop at the end. Nope, just the cursive. It's fine.
Dazzle making a huge mistake there. He thought he was going to take one more hit from the blade there, and then he was going to grave himself, but he didn't cast it. He was just waiting for a moment, and it killed him. So an extra kill going to Illidan that he maybe shouldn't have gotten there. And this is all due to the support ward that was first put down. If a Templar Assassin gets behind, they often do a lot of jungling, and putting a ward on the Ancient spot and getting him all the way around allowed them to take advantage of that. And how lucky to also have a haste rune during that moment, because man, a silencer is basically limited by their disable on the opponents, but once you have a haste, it's basically like you're permanently slowing them because of your movement speed advantage. So really big plays there from Illidan in the mid lane. He's playing great mid.
And a silencer, just one of those heroes that can technically scale as long as there's going to be kills shed. I mean, he already has 8 stolen intel to stack on top. That can only continue to get better. So for him to be able to participate in these kind of kills, 3-0 and 1, only makes things that much more juicy as the game does progress. VP off to a solid start, 5-2. Looking over to Universe, does get his level 6. It looks like he's ready to put this hook shot to use. Already departing from the lane and looking to potentially rendezvous up here, possibly with PPD and company. We'll see where they put their priorities. Fear's back on bottom lane. He's got it near 800 gold, but at that same moment, you look to G on the other side of the world. He's got his Midas now complete, and he is starting to farm through these woods. This Bloodseeker can get out of hand really fast, and there's not going to be an answer for him.
Yeah, especially with the Blood Rage increase and the Midas and all that stuff. Like, and it also gives space to the supports. We talked about this a ton in the last game where they had a Bloodseeker. Shadow Shaman has just been sitting in the safe lane. He's almost level 6 here. It's a little bit slow for a typical support, but you know, this is time to catch up. He's going to get 6. He's hopefully going to be able to farm an Arcane Boots, and that'll allow him to have a lot more mana when it comes to the pushes later. So, despite all this pressure, Sumail still has a godly 56 CS, which blows my mind here. Any other player would so crumble under that pressure. It's been a really, really tough game for him due to the super hard counter pick that Silencer put out. But yeah, man, they can still win this if he just stays calm and doesn't super tilt here, and I can't believe he hasn't tilted yet.
And on the other side, VIRTUS.PRO, with their advantage, they're going to look to hold this momentum. They smoke, and they're looking to invade here. They're going to start out Fear. They're looking to go for the immediate silence after, but they don't have the catch. So that's just a silencer global down, getting nothing out of it. So, bit of a win there for EG. Illidan decided to pull back. Now, it is note that he has a vitality booster, so he's going to go for what he loves to go for, the Atos build-up.
And Atos is one of the best games in the items in the game at a certain point. It's only really good the first 30 minutes or so, after which it becomes much, much weaker and feels like a liability in the item slots. But if you get it very, very early when people are limited on Force Staffs, Blink Daggers, all that stuff, it's a 60% slow on a very, very low cooldown, 10 seconds, and it slows by, like 60% is so much, and it also gives you 30 int and 350 HP. It has been buffed and buffed and buffed, and on a hero like Silencer who just needs some disable and some HP, it is the perfect item.
It gives you a lot of HP. Be in a really good spot. Later in the game when they have forces and blinks, as you said, not as viable, turns into more of a luxurious Linken's popper, but instead, as it stands for now, he's going to look to get it quick and really utilize it to prime state. Look at this, DK Phobos.
They want to
They're nature's guys. Yeah, they really want Fear, but Fear knows there's a lot missing. Decides to go into a more passive position here, hiding behind the tower, not looking to get caught out whatsoever. VIRTUS.PRO also know they don't have that global ready to go, so getting a catch onto Fear would be that much trickier. So they're not going to make any sort of committed jump. Universe still looking to make a strong debut of his hook shot so far. Ever since he left the top lane, as soon as he got his level 6, they were trying to make a jump happen onto the mid lane Illidan, but they couldn't find the opportunity. And it probably was for the better because DK Phobos at the time was waiting there in Viz for a good counterplay. But look at this, they move in. Smoke is popped because they know FNG's nearby. They got the dust ready to go. They entrap him, and they're going to get the kill. Nicely done. Fear's going to pick up the last hit on that one. EG get themselves another kill.
It was a great read to anticipate him being over there and possibly sapping experience. I don't know if they looked at the scoreboard and said, oh, he's almost level 6 or what, but that was a really good pickup. Oh, it looks like they had an observer board. Maybe they didn't see him retreat, probably when Invis hit, something like that. So either way, great kill. It'll give him a bit of experience boost and all that good stuff. In the meantime, AUI on the top lane just trying to sap experience. He's picked up a level 6. Not really farmed at all. The tower's also going to fall. And with that said, he's going to hide.
Top tower has fallen.
That way they do wrap around. They won't find
Sleep deny, maybe.
But that's tough with wards because I think wards don't get slept, so they still hit you through it.
Yeah.
And then Bloodseeker gets fast, and then you're like, no, don't kill me. And he runs you down, and you cry as he kills you.
They had a couple allies rotating in, so obviously for the better that Aoi didn't even try to contest that tower whatsoever. But as you can see, the levels coming together even for the support Shadow Shaman on the side of VIRTUS.PRO. Level 8 already for Lil. Bracer build up for now, looks like possibly an Urn in the near future, but you know, Shadow Shaman, one of the best as far as pushing forward with the objectives. For last year, Roche's old position, it would be a crazy game not to see a Dire side team not pick up a Shadow Shaman just because it was so easy to be able to move in and either get tier 1 objectives or go for the Roche right away. We'll see if that's going to be the case for them or not, but look at this, they got man movement, they smoke up, they're on the prowl.
2 smokes on Shadow Shaman. He's like, we're going to smoke the rest of the game, guys. I mean, we're just getting kills. They got to put the pressure on. I definitely think that's true. They're trying to kill Fear before he gets his Yules, because once he gets this, he's not going to be as vulnerable to Global Silence. Right now, Global Silence is a super hard counter. They're going to find PPD, though. Here comes the snowball. He does get caught.
That's the high five to Jesus, I like to call Purge. He goes right up, says, how you doing? Comes right back down and falls right into his grave.
That was a lot of heroes in that snowball, and they moved really fast. And that is a dead PPD. Not much you can do about that.
That felt like a brief glimpse of PPD too. They're like, they saw him, they snowballed, they went. Just so quick to react. On point right now for VIRTUS.PRO as they pressure this bottom lane. It looks like EG trying to make a split happen here. Sumail knocking at it right now, going to get hit up with a curse. Him and Fear go on the back pedal. FNG not going to be able to get close enough for an overgrowth. And Phobos not looking to push forward with a snowball or anything yet. Just all hands almost on deck here for VIRTUS.PRO and trying defending up this tier 1 mid lane. But look at Lil on the bottom. He's like, don't worry, guys. I'll finish off what we started bottom. And he gets the kill with the help of the wards.
Really, so efficient. Like, yeah. They move down to gank, they get a gank off, they leave one support there who can solo take a tower. Like, that is so valuable as a hero. They're just really being efficient with their hero resources right now. G continues to farm, but the thing I really want to point out is that Sumail is awfully close to top farm right now. They were actually dead close until that tower died and he finished this ancient stack. And that's incredible considering his pressure. I'm gonna stop harping how amazing he's been playing this game in a moment, but I think that one was well deserved because we haven't talked about his network yet, but he's totally up there.
We witnessed the early laning punishment that Illidan put on, and for him to kind of shake that one off. Oh man, what a setup! With the cogs and the sonic wave, they do serious work, but they are able to heal up, and VIRTUS.PRO still stands strong. We are going to lose DK Phobos. Sumail with the charging for the cleanup here, gets 2 kills, G right thereafter. Illidan stuck on the high ground. Aoi sets out the song before anyone can retreat. They're going to regroup, move in, down, and Illidan there next. Gets the kill on Aoi before he goes down. Still a strong trade for Evil Geniuses, and they're going to be able to finish up the Roche.
They actually didn't have detection of their... If he's not attacking, we would have been fine, but he went for the kill and he gets AUI, and he does with Sumail now. He's going to be able to steal the Roche, so what a huge swing for EG here. Getting all of those kills, great team fight, Cog ulting on 2, FNG getting caught me. They've got the dust as well. FNG's going to go down, Yules as well on Tuskar. Can they get more? Or are they going to back off? Melt Strike doing a ton on DK Phobos. 2 hits down to half, 3.
Oh, they really want to pursue this, but they see the TP's coming in. Will shows up. They're going to go for him. They're shot down. Drops the horns for this one. but he should go down here. Shackle Sumail as long as possible. Ultimately will be dropped. PP moves in, gets a nice shallow grave. Long blink from Fear after being caught with the rupture brings him down to next to nothing. G's able to easily clean him up. Now he's on the chase. He wants Sumail. Sumail goes for the TP. He's gone. That refraction certainly helps him. Strong
he got the last word in the fountain. So still went down there, but that was cool. That was cool, man. He's got his Manta picked up, the fast Manta rush, the obvious counter to silences, whether that's Bloodseeker silence or the global silence coming out of Silencer. And now his net worth is a full 1,700 gold over the Bloodseekers. He is in the lead.
That is just crazy. This all started, the lead-in from that Roche setup, Universe, beautiful cogs, follow-up from Fear with the Sonic Wave, annihilates VP. They are weak and wounded. The second Sumail shows up, he's easily able to clean house. Takes a couple of lives. Of course, we see Illidan stuck on the high ground, awkward position, ends up taking a life of his own, but with that Roche snag, they go right towards the mid lane for the tier 1. VIRTUS.PRO not looking to hand over so much. They get into their own skirmish, but still EG, who seem to be in a very nice spot. This definitely puts things a lot more into perspective for both. See by net worth, EG is really taking the strongest point in this game.
I really like AUI's build compared to how we saw the other, was it VP, I believe, play Lil, I think, played the Naga Siren earlier today. He went for like a 1-4-2 build or something with 1 mirror image and 4 ensnare, whereas AUI has been really focusing on maxing out mirror image instead. And he's doing this because it increases his farm rate by a lot more. His illusions do an extra 15% of his original base damage per hit, and they also tank twice as much damage. So just by simply having mirror images, he's able to farm jungle camps and get last hits more often and play like his old throwback carry role. And it's been really useful. He's got items this game compared to how Lil had it. Lil had like a Brown Boots, Magic Wand, Urn early today and really didn't make Naga Siren support look good, but this guy's been able to farm a mech by himself up to 20 minutes and he's going to be relevant for the rest of the game because of this.
And the ceiling on this Naga is so high that if he needs to segue into more of a core position, Aui's done it before, and not be afraid to do it again.
I think the reason he's going this build, by the way, obviously Arcane Mech is a great item on any support that can farm. What he's aiming for is the Guardian Greaves, because if he gets those, he can debuff himself and remove the silence. So not only does that help his team out, but he can say, oh, global silence? All right, remove that, pop the mech, song, bam. No problem. Completely counters what the silencer is picked for, which is the global. Really, really cool itemization by AUI. He's completely reading this game.
Could also see maybe even Universe pick up something like a Lotus Orb also to help out. That also could work out on an ally, removing the silence and could benefit a bit. Maybe we send back the Rupture, a Leech Seed, a Snowball even. Who knows? Hex. Lotus Orb could be a nice grab for Universe and would help out in addition with that silence. So
we blink up on Sumail now. So further leveraging his already really good attack speed with the Treads and the Manta style. Ward's getting popped down on the mid lane, and it looks like VP wanted to take a fight there, but they maybe just misread EG's positioning of it. Since they were set in mid and EG was all top, maybe they feel worried about a fight as well. I feel like the team fight could go either way, really.
EG, they're showing up. They're looking to catch anyone on the way out.
Nobody on the silence hook shot.
Weave does go out of it. First moves in, gets a hold of DK. Gets great help. Pops his own blade mail. Could be going down. Waiting for the snowball.
Oh, big ult.
Big ult from Fear on that southern front. He gets up a huge sonic wave. And now FNG still trying under the cover, but they see him. Riptide connects. He's trying to run with Company G as well in pursuit. Aui will be able to catch him out. Gets to sleep on the FNG and Phobos and G at this point. Sumail is waiting to clear out the tree. And Lil gets Lil, first one down. Now they move forward. They're going to get PPD as an exchange. Meanwhile, Aui and Sumail are able to clean out the rest of FNG. Now it's VP looking to retreat. Illidan gets to the high ground. Will TP out from trouble. DK Phobos already walking away. A big fight. Trade again. It ends up being a 2-for-2, it looks like. Purge relatively split. You have to consider as well the tier 1 went down for VIRTUS.PRO, so maybe a slight nod their way, but the cores of EG definitely benefited a lot.
Yeah, and with that said, Sumail's about to take his tier 1 of his own, and as soon as he saw the enemies were gone, he was like, oh, I'll kill these ancients, and then I'm going to shift over and take your tier 1. He actually blinks forward, scares DK Phobos back, and back to farming. Desolator is up next. 2 hammers in the bank.
Dire's middle
and it's
tower
cheaper now,
is under
so
attack.
not going to take that long to get the recipe.
This is just I feel like the Bloodseeker here has been able to farm really hard, and his KDA looks really good, but I feel like his impact has felt a little weak thus far. And I also feel like he's really countered by the TA here. Like, he doesn't have a very good solution. If he ruptures TA to start the fight, it's really good for VP. But if that's not what the case is, then I feel like Bloodseeker is going to have a rough time being effective in the team fight, at least for DPS reasons.
Now, Illidan for now steps up and has the value ulti orb put together here. Are we wagering a sheep stick as a possible pickup? A Lincoln Sphere?
I think it has to be Hex, like you said, sheep stick, because it counters the Templar Assassin so well. You could do a Hex, or maybe he could Manta split, and then you can Hex him afterwards. Something like that is probably the best solution. Just the hard lockdown is so nice to have. It also stops Queen of Pain. Queen of Pain feels invulnerable right now because she has a Yule. She can remove the silence from herself. But if you can also start the fight, disable them for 3.5 seconds, global silence so that Dazzle can't actually grave somebody, and then blow that person up, it completely changes how the team fights go. So they need a hard disable like that. They can't just rely on Tusk or Shadow Shaman doing the chain stuns. It's nice to have it on a core as well.
And they're going to also need to have a bit more come out here. Lil has been putting up good farm and is stepping up. Not really surprising from where Shadow Shaman was able to kind of burst down some towers for himself with the help of the wards. Look at FNG, and he's feeling a bit poor here. He's got the magic wand, the boots, the Harry Potter setup, I like to call it. Yeah. He really doesn't have a whole lot to offer, just some living armors. But is that going to be enough? Even an Overgrowth, I don't feel, is going to be doing too much work to EG. It seems like they have a couple of ways to just kind of bounce out from it.
Yeah, Yule's Manta style, all those are options, but if they burn their Manta on something like the Trim ulti, then Global Silence becomes more valuable. And in most cases, Trim Protectors really don't have many items, and it's more of a scouting, invis, armor, and potential Overgrowth. Like, Overgrowth is still an amazing ability, despite it doing no damage, and the Disable being removable in some ways. So I think it's still going to provide some value here for FNG. It's just he did get picked off a couple too many times due to smart reads from EG.
G going right back into his own farm. He now holds his own ulti orb this game. Yeah. Scotty build up?
Yeah, same build as last time. I think he went SNY Midas. He did get a BKB because they were so stun heavy, but BKB does nothing against TA this game, so he's better off just going for the Scotty build up or whatever he's opting to build. Almost surely will be a Scotty. Help him chase down people. If he just hits the TA once and then runs away, it's going to slow her for a very long time and will limit her DPS output. So may end up being Scotty, most likely. But the only problem with that is that it's very HP heavy, Scotty as an item, and it doesn't really help you against minus armor that much. It only gives you like 3 armor or something like that. Yeah, a little bit, about 3.5 armor. So you kind of need to mix your Scotty afterwards with an armor item. So I feel like he's going to have to go like either Butterfly for the evasion or for an AC immediately afterwards, and that's really the only way that he's going to end up being able to even come close to beating the TA late.
The thing is yeah, you're putting all this pressure and trying to beat a TA late, but this Naga could also creep on them. I mean, he's already got Guardian Greaves and 1k gold saved up. This game starts inching a bit too far. You can run into some trouble, but it looks like they couldn't nip that in the butt. They cross paths with Owie, who pops his Guardian Greaves the second he gets caught out. But he gets shackled down. Here comes Illidan from the corner.
Okay, we got
a song and the sleep before any sort of silence could come out. Owie's able to make it away.
Yeah, Illidan maybe could have ultied there to guarantee the kill, but PPD TP'd out. They had the chain stun, and then they ran out of stuns. Like, the other problem is that if they just do no, they could have just killed him. He wouldn't have been able to TP out in time without getting his ulti off, so I guess they just didn't want to pop the global, because then EG could have just grouped up and like, alright, we're going to take a tower or two.
It's just a support Naga, right?
Yeah, it kind of feels like a waste, and Silencer immediately walking into the Roche pit by himself. This is, I guess they have no Naga sleep, another thing that makes Roshing pretty hard, so I guess that's the trade as well. Why use Global Silence kill him when you could just say, okay, now we get a team fight advantage.
They still got a clockwork though, Purge, and they already scouted out with a rocket. We saw June get a brilliant snag in the last series. Let's see if Universe can do one of his own.
Sumail not quite here. Blood rages up on the
very, very low here. Sonic Wave from the low ground. Now it is going to get picked up from Illidan.
Yeah, they don't want to fight.
Step back and away.
So he threw that ult just for the off chance that he could snipe Roche, because then his team would get essentially a tower worth of gold. Didn't get it. 35-second cooldown, 40-second cooldown, sorry. No problem at all. So yeah, not a huge loss there. other than the whole Aegis and
Dire's
gold for your
bottom
opponent's
tower
sake.
is under
What's the big
attack.
deal? Who got bound? Who got it, by the way? Silencer picked it up.
Yeah.
Very, very smart pick. He's pretty vulnerable right now to TA. I could see a TA 3-4 shotting him easily. So he really needs some survivability fast, whether that's going to be a Ghost Scepter, a Hex, or a Blink Dagger. All would be options, I think.
It's good. They'll have the security that if they make a jump onto the silencer early in hopes that they can stop him from getting the global off, they'll be able to come back and secure a global for whatever team fight could break it. But in the meantime, DK Phobos here, going to be the Vlad's holder for his team on the Tusk. And it's not very often, but it's going to be more the utility carry here. Does have Blink Dagger and everything on hand, and it certainly adds a lot for, you know, his Bloodseeker, who does have now Scotty complete, and he is pretty damn swole. Still only second in net worth to Sumail. I know you're praising a lot for how Sumail's farm is, and I can't help it, but he's at 18K almost. Nearly 4K above the next closest Bloodseeker.
Yeah, that's pretty ridiculous. Treant Protector spots out Sumail. Oh yeah, I was going to talk about the Vlads on Tusk. I think the Vlads is pretty smart because his team is very weak to armor in a lot of cases. Plus you got Riptide on top of that. Like, there's so many minus armor sources on EV right now that you need armor on your supports and on your other heroes. Ghost Scepters do some work, but eventually Ghost Scepters run out and then it's going to hit you just as hard. So by having the Vlads, everybody's got an extra 5 armor, 3 more than what a Basilius would give you, and that will help Sumail do a little bit less damage.
Oh, he is very close to his Sheepstick. The Mystic Staff is already done, and he just about has enough for a recipe, or at least a Void Stone here. He's going to get it within this creep wave here. And VIRTUS.PRO might look to put that to use right away. Top lane, though, Sumail inching out in front with PBD behind Lil and Viz. They have a sentry, though, right there. Oh! Sumail's instant reaction is to blink away. Does not know who could be behind the Shadow Shaman. And I agree. Just like, oh my God, there's someone in Invis there. Let's get the hell out.
If you look at the position of VP right now, none of them were on the map at all. And all of a sudden you see an Invis Shadow Shaman, that is good reason to get the heck out.
Yeah.
Because if that Hex comes out, that could be you dying and your Dazzle as well. So picks up a BKB now. He's really fun. Hookshot coming in, bot.
Yep, follow up with again that Sonic Wave combo from Fear. Living Armor trying to keep G alive, but he is not going to be able to make it away. Universe keeps him planted strong with the help of that battery assault. G does go down. A good pick on this Bloodseeker. And with that, it looks like they probably consider following it up onto this tier 2 push. G out for a full minute without a buyback.
2.4k gold on the Naga Siren now, and it looks like they're giving him farm. Fear choosing not to get that, so it does look like he's going to transition into the Radiance build. And when that happens, they get more sources of damage. That's going to break the living armor every single second. That's going to give evasion or a mischance to Tusk. He just might miss a Walrus Punch at a critical time. It's also going to give mischance to Silencer, somebody whose main damage source is simply by right-clicking. So when that Radiance gets up, it creates pressure from a 4 position. And then the game gets so much harder because he's got like 5 item slots that are just ready to eat up items, you know? Like, it gets so scary at this point. He's only 800 gold away right now. His team is just helping him farm. They're getting everything low. They're stacking camps. Look at this. Universe stacking a camp with a rocket as well. And now he's going to get up to 6 camps in the jungle here.
And his farm is only going to get accelerated that much faster once he gets the Radiance done. And then the clock starts really ticking here for VIRTUS.PRO. And what, you know, are they going to have an answer for this core farm Naga on the other side? They're out and on the move. They're all getting a little piece of this FNG Nature's Guise as they scavenge their own jungle front, but there's not going to be any Evil Geniuses there. It feels like Evil Geniuses are not worried about pushing ahead and trying to take towers and end this game anytime soon. The longer this game goes, it seems like that they're going to put themselves in a more comfortable position, and they're happy to just kind of stall things out.
It's a really cool way to play Naga that most players just simply don't do, but he's completely fine with his current items. He's actually, I'm sorry, gem purchased by PBD. I was like, oh, he stopped the relic to get the gem, but no, it was Earthshaker instead. Sumail spotting out Lil again. He blinks away. Didn't realize that time that he was about to die, but and Fear as well creating space. Like his whole team, you're totally right. His whole team is just totally fine. Going passive, getting the relic, that is their next win condition that basically makes VP almost impossible to leave for this. It's going to be really tough for them to deal with that with the heroes they have.
If one little Fear can draw pretty much the whole VP squad up to the top lane, then they're in a good spot. And that will just leave the rest of the map for the rest of EG to farm up between both Sumail and Aoi. There's not going to be much of an answer soon. Look at freaking Sumail, man! He's got nearly 5k gold!
What does he get next? He could go Butterfly. That would make him really survivable against Bloodseeker. Daedalus, if he wants to just start one-shot, one-shot supports.
Yeah.
That would work. His attack speed's already so high.
Butterfly.
It's pretty incredible. Butterfly would be... Oh, he does got Butterfly, okay. That'll also make his illusions very good, because then they're going to start evading damage. Then he's got evasion plus the Radiance Burn, so they've got to worry about mischance, they got to worry about evasion. This is just looking like EG is about to play with VP and do whatever the heck they want.
Yeah. It's slowly feeling like there will be a respect Naga ban in the next game if things progress this way. VIRTUS.PRO, it's on them to potentially dig deep. I like this response potentially from G to help with what we were talking about before with the Vlads on Tusk and the need to build up some armor for yourself and for your team. Looks like he's going to be going for the AC build.
Yeah, completely the right item to build in my opinion. The only downside to his build is that it's not very plus damage heavy, but he'll be getting that just from the sake of people being low. And if people don't get low, his build is going to be very weak on damage, but if they do get low, he's got all this attack speed and all these stats, and he'll eventually have an AC. He could definitely cut through some of these heroes very fast, especially like Queen of Pain, who's slowly working into a BKB, no Shivas, no AC in sight. Even TA is potentially killable, though she has pretty high armor. Clockwork's actually really armor stacked, but might see a fight mid.
We'll see here. There's smoke turning the corner here.
Oh, they don't want him.
Yeah, Universe instead, they're beelining it straight up north. Maybe trying to catch any from VIRTUS.PRO farming or falling back. VIRTUS.PRO actually doing their own smoke movement here, Purge. It's the exact opposite. They're going to head through the EG jungle front, not find anyone here. And EG are just working at the top lane. They're going to allow Sumail to push this tower and simply wait to see if anyone from the side of VIRTUS.PRO are going to respond. Or VIRTUS.PRO are just going to go down mid lane and try to go for a trade themselves.
Maybe they're going to wait for EG to go back. Because I don't think the EG really needs to go high ground here. AUI's got his Radiance in the base. He just needs to head back and pick that up. I feel like VP's going to try to wait to see if they show up and then go for the swing, but they haven't, so they said, oh, they're all mid? All right, we're going high ground. Let's do it. Force them to TP back, so we don't have to.
VIRTUS.PRO, they drop the wards. They're going to wards defense here. They rotate in. Oh, Universe gets the first jump. They get the immediate first kill on the FNG. First on the scene, first dead. Now they look to Illidan, who is able to get the global off, but he dies so freaking fast. Look at these guys. Hit him. G runs back. He's eating a lot of punishment. Fear not looking to make it back to safety. Rocket helps out and they get him down. Double kill for Fear. And their tier 3 quickly crumbles thereafter, Purge. And that's all it takes.
And they don't even want to deal with the Radiance. So like, oh my god, he's got like he picks up the Radiance. You guys just cleave through our cores. The South could not deal with the late game TA, but in lane, what a one-sided matchup. And he still got ridiculous last hits from jungling and catching up that way. They all like the only solution was to like aggressively ward all the jungle camps near mid lane, and that was like the only way to keep Sumail down. But he did not get down there. He deserves those fantasy points, man. What a performance.